So both what Jesus is showing to us in Matthew and then what Peter says decades later, they're talking about these holy people of renown. The prophets of the Old Testament that we're familiar with their names, Isaiah, we read from earlier, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, all these names we can't pronounce. That we have more knowledge of this mystery and more knowledge of who God is than they did. They didn't experience the graciousness of Jesus Christ. That what we have because of Jesus, what he has given us, that we know him better than the people in this book that we carry around. Because we've experienced graciousness, we've experienced salvation. To think about this, you know Jesus better than the angels do. Because we've experienced graciousness. We've experienced this mystery. In fact, we are living this mystery of God's kingdom here on this earth. And I love this verse in what it says in 1 Peter when it talks about the fact that they were not doing this for themselves, but they were doing this for you. It was revealed to them that they were not serving themselves. But you think about this. They're having these amazing, monumental, huge experiences with God, or following him, or speaking his words, or speaking his truth. And they realized it was not for their own benefit. It was for the benefit of the people who would live after them. That we're the recipients of the faithfulness of the past. That their faithfulness has created the best possible environment for us to thrive. This parable of the farmer sowing his seed, that the prophets, the people in the Old Testament, the people who've gone before us, those father figures and those mother figures, those spiritual leaders that have impacted us. Somebody, every single person in this room remembers the first person who told them about Jesus. All of those people created that fertile ground for us. And God enables that yield to grow 30 times, 60 times, 100 times the original amount. The average, that parable that Jesus told quickly, the average yield in the Middle East in the first century with that method of agriculture, I know we have people who farm in here, they understand what yield counts are like. The average yield at that point in time was a 5-time return. You would yield 5 times the seed that you were given. So this parable is saying that the minimum yield you're going to have is 30 times is an unbelievable amount of just benefit and of change that's happening in their lives. These people who've gone before us, their faithfulness created the environment for our faithfulness to respond to who God is. So when we ask that question, what am I doing with what I know? That we're not doing that in isolation. We're doing that with the people who we are here with. Not serving themselves, but serving us who live now. That our hearts, the only thing that God asks for us is for us to give him our heart. And the degree that we are willing to give our heart to him will show us the degree of what he's able to do for us. Because we're responsible for that environment. If we're asking, we need to see you and we need to hear you, there's a big deal of, okay, what can you handle right now? What can you be responsible with? What can you be faithful with? What have you been responsible with in the past? And what have you been faithful with in the past? How am I calling you to grow right now? We have access to every single thing we need to fully experience the presence of God in our lives.